Is it time for a change and you're feeling a little stuck? Maybe we can help. Welcome back to Ask Dr. SAIRA, the show where you ask your questions about relationships, psychology, spirituality, and I'm here to answer. So today's question comes from Paolo, and Paolo says, I need a change but feel really stuck. I know I'm not depressed, just really demoralized. How can I move forward? Paolo. All right, so I know that feeling of needing something to be different, but really not knowing how or what to do to get that change. What I would say is if you're feeling stuck, to do little things, right? So little things. And they could be things as simple as waking up in the morning and taking 3 deep breaths. Doesn't have to be a complicated, involved process, just something small. When you're feeling stuck, one of the things I would ask myself is, what's going on, right? Is it that there's some life transition that I'm going through? Is it that I'm avoiding some sort of feeling? Because what I've found is that usually when we're stuck, there's kind of an outward reason for that. There's, some life experience that's happening, but there's also something going on inside. And when we're stuck, it's often because we're not willing to actually move beyond whatever it is. Like we have a story, right? So I have this story that, okay, I'll give you an example. So professionally for me, there was a period of my life when I felt kind of stuck. And the story I was telling myself is, oh, well, I have a new baby. And so, it's hard and I don't have childcare and it's all on me. I'm the mom, I'm nursing. What can I do? So I had all of these really good reasons for being stuck. So in that moment, I had a really good friend who talked to me about choices. And she said, look, there's a time for every phase of your life. Would you be willing to surrender to this time, right? And really surrender and know that she's not going to be a newborn forever, right? That is going to change and your circumstances will change. You won't be nursing when she's 5, but to give yourself permission to be in the stage that you're at. Because if we don't really accept the stage that we're at, then moving forward becomes a fight, right? But if you can actually accept, like, okay, this is the stage that I'm at. I'm stuck in this area and I'm here. And then trying to look at, okay, well, what is the upside of this? Is there an upside to this? Many of us stay stuck for many, many, many years because changing, doing what it would take to move forward actually takes courage and effort and makes us, uncomfortable. Sometimes we'd prefer just to be stuck in the familiar than actually take a risk and go into the unknown. So timing is one thing. The second thing is willingness to change. And then the third thing I would say around this particular topic is to give yourself permission to be stuck. I think we live in a culture where we're always expected to be doing the next thing, right? So, okay, I've completed my high school. Now I'm doing the next thing for post-secondary education. I've completed my post-secondary education, now I'm going to find my career. Okay, now I've completed my career or I'm into my career, and now I'm going to try to, build my empire. And maybe somewhere in there I get, my relationships lined up. Maybe somewhere in there I decide to have children or not. So there's always these goals. It's like we're goal-oriented just in like living our lives. And so if you're stuck, I would ask myself, like, what is my life trying to show me right now? And what do I need to pay attention to here? Because it's natural for us to progress to the next thing. That's how we're designed. So if you're not progressing, something's holding you back. And there's probably some benefit. There's probably some hidden benefit for you to stay in exactly the place that you are right now. And one of those hidden benefits could be simple as you get to feel sorry for yourself. I hate to say it. I've worked with clients who spend years and years and years in this stuck place, telling a really good story about why they're stuck, but not actually taking the step and the risk to get unstuck. So if you're wanting to move forward, if you're really wanting to get unstuck, as I mentioned earlier, little things. So finding one tweak that you can make in your daily routine that will shift things a little bit. There's an excellent program for those who are in Canada. There's a program called Living Life to the Full. It's offered by the Canadian Mental Health Association. You can take it online, you can take it in person. Fantastic program. It's based in cognitive behavioral therapy. And part of the program is about how to get to your goal, how to set goals, and then how to actually get to those goals. And look at what some of the barriers, the internal barriers may be. Because we can all talk about the external barriers. There's lots of external barriers. I get it. But the bigger barriers are those that happen on the inside, because I've had situations where we've been able to clear out barriers for people, just move them to the side, and still they don't move forward, right? And that has to do with the courage. And sometimes that courage story comes from when you were really small, right? And you tried something and it blew up in your face, or you were ridiculed, or you got in trouble, right? And so it's harder to take risks as we get older. But it's the risk takers that actually get to build the lives that they want, right? You also mentioned that you know you're not depressed. Looking into that a little bit, because if that kind of popped up in your mind that maybe I'm depressed, like what does that mean to you? We use depressed in kind of a general term, but there's also a clinical diagnosis of depression. And when you have a clinical diagnosis of depression, some of these things that would work, otherwise are not going to work for you because your brain's just not responding in the same way. And so, it's worthwhile checking it out with your family doctor just to make sure, just to rule that out. And if it's not depression, there's something that's called there's a concept called the dark night of the soul, which I love this concept because it's saying that each one of us, well, not all of us, but many of us have a period of our life that's kind of this darkness. And it really causes us to do some soul searching, some real looking inside. And it's uncomfortable and we want to push away from it. We want to get back to happy land, but it's actually required that we walk through that valley of that pain and that despair so that we can strengthen ourselves so that whatever the next phase is, we're prepared for it. So those are my thoughts for you today, Paolo, about what to do when you're feeling stuck. For others that are watching, if you have questions that you want answered, make sure to leave a comment below, like and subscribe so I can keep making these videos, and I'll see you next week. Bye.